What's up everybody, this is Jeremy from Octane TV. We want to make this video today because we're going to be going for a new test drive in a 2023 Honda Civic. I planned on buying this vehicle to be able to save on gas mileage to keep miles off my other cars. So I want to make this video today to kind of show you what I think are some great things about the 23 Honda Civic Sport and some of the things that I'm not so fond of on the 23 Honda Civic Sport. Now the Sport model is a really particular model that runs a 2.0 engine, which is naturally aspirated, non-turbo. It is a great car. I will say, driving it for the few weeks that I did have it, it was a wonderful car. I'm not gonna say a tremendous amount of bad things about this vehicle, but there are some faults to this car that might not be a great fit for some people, that another vehicle might be a great fit for you. And that's what we would like to show you this before you make this purchase. The one thing I would like to say is please go and drive this car or any other car at the dealership and just see what you think about it. Don't jump in and just buy a car just because you get in and you're like, ooh, I really like this car, it's nice. You might not like some of the features of this car or any other car. Take some time and drive a few vehicles and see what you like and don't like about each vehicle. But stay tuned, we're gonna show you some of the likes and dislikes that we do like about the 23 Honda Civic.
All right, today we're going to be talking about, and I'm sorry about this camera and the lighting and all that, I'm just using a different camera today. We're going to talk about my 2023 Honda Civic that I just purchased and what I like and what I don't like about it. So, driving it right now, I want you guys to kind of understand what's great about this car, what's not great about this car, some of the things that I like about it, some of the things I don't like about it. So I want to make this video today to kind of let everybody know some of the great things about it and some of the things I don't like about it. So some of the things, I'll start off with some of the things that I love about this car. I love the interior on this car. The interior looks absolutely amazing. I can't say a bad word about the interior. The interior is probably the biggest reason why I went with this car over some other cars that are in its lineup. So the interior is very modern, I'll say, especially with the new dash with the grille and the mesh that's in there for the heating and HVAC vents, things like that. When you get inside like the Toyota Corolla, Camry, other cars in this price point, you'll see kind of what I'm talking about. The 2022 and 2023 Civics are very upgraded, more like a BMW, more like what a 2023 or 2024 car should look like. When you get into the inside of a Corolla, it still looks like it's from the early 2000s. Kind of reminds me of like a Chevy Cruze or something along those lines, or like an old Malibu. But this car is very nice on the inside. It's got a leather wrapped steering wheel. I mean, it's got a full infotainment system display. I mean, gloss black everywhere, like it should. I mean, it looks super clean. The only thing I don't like about this interior is the cloth. It does come with cloth seats. It does come with the cloth armrest. It comes with cloth all over the door panels, which don't ever put cloth on door panels, Honda and every other manufacturer. Honda's the worst for it. So they put right where your armrest is on the door and the armrest in the center console, cloth. That is a major no-no, because every time your arm sweats on it, anytime you put anything on it, it turns white. It's a high traffic area to begin with. People like me who work for a living, we're gonna make it look like it's been destroyed after owning the car for a year. So kind of a word to the wise when it comes to building these cars, guys. Do not put cloth on the armrest. You want to put cloth on the door panel insert, fine. Don't put it on the armrest. For God's sake, stop doing that. Especially Honda. Honda is the worst about it. That is my only major complaint about this car, is the cloth. That's it. I mean, I don't have a touring model. I don't have, you know, an upgraded model like an EXL or anything like that. But the sport model is basically like a base model. But the sport model looks super clean, and it's very affordably priced at like $26,000 if you can find one in 2023. But my biggest major concern is the cloth. That stuff is a major nightmare. Now, what I do for a living, I can change it, so it's not a big deal. I can add leather to this car, I can put leather inserts, I can change all that, but a normal person cannot do that. So that's where I feel bad, is that if somebody who isn't like me gets a hold of this car, they're not going to be able to change that stuff. And if they don't like it, you're kind of stuck with it. There's not much that you can do, to be honest with you. So I'll show you some videos of what I'm talking about, kind of put you into the, you know, driver's seat so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from with this. Now, if you buy a touring model, my CRV is a touring model. The leather that they use in that is absolutely amazing. You're going to get an upgraded infotainment system. You're also going to get wireless charging, a better display for the gauge cluster. So there's a lot of advantages, and you can get a sunroof, which that sucks that they don't come with sunroofs. It's like the Accords. You can't get an Accord with a sunroof unless you go with the 2.0 model on the 18 and up. Like, stupid, in my opinion. Like, people want sunroofs. I want a sunroof. Like, that's the biggest thing in a car this size. I want a sunroof. So Honda, if you're listening, please make sunroofs an option in a sport model. Like, stop it. Like, just give us the option to add a sunroof. It's a great thing. Hell, even give us an option to add a bigger infotainment system or leather without having to go to a touring model. And I know why they do it, because they just make smaller options. That way people have to go with them. I understand that. But for people like me, I don't want a touring model. The other thing I want to talk about too is the engine sizes. A lot of people, like my CRV has a 1.5 liter turbo in it. Never had an issue with it, but we change the oil all the time. I opted to go with the 2.0 model in this, like a naturally aspirated 2.0 model. My Accord has the 2.0T in it, which is the 2 liter turbo 10-speed car. So this has a CVT in the 2023 Civic. Now I'll tell you, that Accord 2.0T turbo model that has a 10-speed in it, God, I was getting like 26 to 27 miles per gallon, which in my opinion is not good. My CRV, that is a CVT transmission, it's the 1.5 liter turbo, it's the touring model 2017, I'm averaging 35 to 36 out of a CRV. That's, in my opinion, good on a front wheel drive. It's not all wheel drive. But in this 2023 Civic, that is a 2.0 CVT model, I'm averaging around 36. Sometimes I can get it as high as 38 if I stay on the highway a lot. So that's, in my opinion, that's really good gas mileage compared to the Accord. But they don't make the 2.0 10-speed model anymore. They're not going to carry that over into 2023. So I say the gas mileage is a major benefit to this car. They say it gets a certain one, but this one actually gets, in my opinion, 36 to 37 miles to a gallon. So if you're looking for something that gets great gas mileage, whether you're driving in the city or you're driving on the highway, it absolutely gets great gas mileage. And I can contend to that. I'm going to show plenty of videos on here of how great the gas mileage is. The gas mileage is probably the major reason why I did purchase this vehicle, besides the looks. The looks of this vehicle are probably, in my opinion, one of the best ones out of the category, like compared to the Corolla, Camry, you know, other cars in its price range. The looks of this car stock, in my opinion, are great, especially on a sport model. It does come with the black trim, comes with the black wheels, gloss black. It's a great looking car. I mean, there's not much differences between a sport model and an SI when you look at the outside of it. I mean, it's very minimal exterior changes. I'm buying this car as a daily driver. I could care less. I would have went with an SI for a little bit more money, but I don't want a manual. I'm driving this car with my kids. Like, I don't want to have to shift every second of the day. And I also didn't want cloth red seats. Like, good God. Like, that's the ugliest and in my opinion, you're gonna have to clean that all the time. It's gonna stain like crazy. Like, I don't want red cloth seats. Like, just use leather, guys. Like, they make some of the best leather in the CRVs for red. Like, I went and drove one with red and orange. Like, why would you not put that in an SI? But maybe that's just my valid opinion. Some people might like cloth racing seats, but I don't. I sweat. My kids they throw food in my car. I don't want that in my car. So the Civic, in my opinion, for the 2023 is a great value. I've only had mine for a month. Unfortunately, I'm trading it in. That's just the way things have to work with the amount of cars that I want to buy. But you cannot go wrong with buying this car. In my honest opinion, I would highly recommend this to anyone that's looking for a new car. Now, I have went and drove the new GTI. I've went and drove the new Golf R. I've went and drove the new Toyota Camry, Corolla, all of them. And I can tell you, this Civic is by far the nicest, the most dependable, best resale value I've seen. In every category, this car beats those cars. It comes with keyless entry, proximity, and remote start, when a lot of those other cars don't even come with it. I went and looked at a new Corolla, which is on like a six to year waiting list right now. That's how far they're backed up on one. You have to buy a used one you can buy a 2024. They don't even come stock with proximity or keyless entry. They come with a key start. This is 2023, and you guys are still using a non-push start key start function. And then on top of that, it doesn't even have proximity. Like, at least if it had proximity, I could deal with the key start, but no remote start. So you get no remote start. So the Civic is a great value for what you get. There are some things I would complain about, but it's not that bad. For some of you people out there that do have kids, I'll kind of show you how big the back seat is, things like that. Coming from a CRV and an Accord, things like that, and I own those, the back seat is not the biggest. So the Civic does seem larger this year for 2022, 2023, but the back seat is very small. I will say that. Coming from an Accord, massive. The CRV, there's so much room back there with a guy my size can fit in that back seat with no issues. The Civic, it is small, and I will say it is a pain, and I kind of regret buying a newer Civic because of this reason, because I can't haul wood, I can't put things back there. Even the Accord has a larger tunnel that goes through the trunk when you put the seats down. The Civic has a smaller tunnel, and then it's a smaller trunk and a smaller back seat. So you're super limited on what you can get. The other disadvantage I've noticed, and this is things that I'm learning for 2023, is the CRV and the Accord come in a hybrid model. I can't even get a hybrid model Civic. So the price of the Civic is so expensive. I paid almost $30,000 for this car, and they just came out with the new hybrid Accord and the new hybrid CRV, and you can get the new hybrid Accord for almost $32,000 to $33,000, and you get 50 miles to the gallon, and it comes with nicer features than the Civic. I don't like the looks of the Accord, I will say you that, but the looks of the Civic is amazing. That's kind of what drew me to this car. But the new CRV looks amazing, and those are going for like 35, 36 in the hybrid model. I actually went and test drove one of those, but they were trying to get 40,000 at the time when I went and drove it, but 6 months later, they've got it all the way down to 35,000, and you couldn't even get the CRVs. You had to order one of those as well, but times are kind of changing. They're getting more of those vehicles out there. But if you're looking at a new Civic, I would really consider driving the Accord or CRV if you do have kids, or you do transport a lot of stuff, or you need to haul anything like that. I would definitely consider driving the Accord and CRV before you pull the trigger on the Civic. It is extremely small. It is small to haul things. It is a small trunk. Think about driving one of those vehicles, especially the CRV, before you pull the trigger. I was not a big CRV person until I owned one. Once you own one and you can think about all the things you can do with that hatch and you have all that room back there, it is super versatile.